Hi, my name is Hasmin Fada, and I'm super excited to be here with Luis, Brianna, and Mateo. Luis, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, of course. My name is Luis Salinas. I go to St. Edward's University currently. I was born and raised here in Austin, and I'm currently a finance major, and I will be graduating this upcoming May.
Awesome, thank you. Brianna.
My name is Brianna Miller. I am a psychology major at Texas State. I'll be graduating in May.
That's great. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
My name is Mateo Sarmiento. I attend the University of Texas at Dallas. I am studying electrical engineering, and I am planning on graduating December 2021.
Awesome. Thank you all for introducing yourselves, and congratulations on your upcoming graduation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we start by having you share a little bit of your most memorable breakthrough experiences or moments with us?
I'd say one of my most memorable experiences with Breakthrough had to have been during the summers in middle school, and basically just getting to hang out with a bunch of kids my age that didn't necessarily go to my school from different parts of town than what I was used to hanging out like from my school. Also being able to build those connections with the mentors and our teachers, being able to learn a lot from them was a really valuable experience for me.
Can you tell me a little bit about what you've learned from those mentors and those experiences during the summer?
Right, so some of the things I learned from them, they were college students at the time, so they were student teachers basically. And so they just gave me insight as to their whole academic trajectory and basically gave me advice on how to be a successful student and just overall just like life advice and basically just good life advice.
That's great.
My favorite memory or favorite part about Breakthrough is in the summers as well, being both a summer teacher and a student. I really enjoyed being able to learn about things that weren't normally taught about at my school. It just wasn't a part of the curriculum, and then also being able to teach that to students and seeing just how excited they were to learn about people that look like them during like social studies, learn about ways to express themselves in writing and different things like that.
And what sort of drew you to sort of see Breakthrough from the other side and become a teacher during the summers?
I really loved my teachers, and I've always been passionate about education. I think that Breakthrough is a wonderful institution. I always wished it was an actual school to attend year round. And so I really wanted to be a part of that and kind of give back for the experience that I got.
That's awesome.
So.
Thank you.
Well, there's a lot of memories and memorable moments in Breakthrough. I seriously, like Luis said, the summer, man, it was crazy. I remember waking up early in the morning to go to my bus stop so that I could see my bus buddy at the next bus stop at the UT campus. Those were such great moments. But definitely, like that summer activities, we used to get prepared for the upcoming years in school, and then also we used to get reinforcement for what we learned in previous years. So, all those little things kind of stuck with us and like benefited us in our upcoming school years and stuff like that. So, those were very, very good, memorable moments.
How would you describe Breakthrough to others who may be unfamiliar with the program?
Well, the way I've described it before is basically a program that helps first-generation college students all the way from middle school to the point that they graduate college with the primary goal of getting them into college and helping them graduate.
What kinds of resources have they supported you with or provided during your journey?
I think the ones that kind of stand out to me the most was helping me with writing college essays, with financial aid, providing me with internships because without Breakthrough, my resume would be very slim. And yeah, I think just really getting me in doors that I wouldn't even know how to get to in the first place. So.
Y'all mentioned that Breakthrough starts in middle school. As a middle schooler, what drew you to join the program? Because you're 12, 11 years old at that point?
Yeah.
I guess for me, I this probably goes for a lot of other students, but our parents probably were the ones who made us join. And at the time, I kind of dreaded it, if I'm being honest, because what middle schooler wants to get up 6 in the morning every day during the summer and go to, I guess, summer school, which was kind of the way I thought of it back in the day. But looking back on it now, I'm so grateful that my parents made me do it, because the amount of opportunities that I've been given through Breakthrough, the people I've met, the connections I've made, the relationships I've built, have all been so valuable to me. And Breakthrough at this point is basically like my family. It's my second family. Another way I also think of it is basically like my second parents, because your parents make you do things that you don't want to do necessarily at the time, but looking back, you're glad that they made you do it because they knew better.
For me, it was, I was in a program called AVID at the time, and they were already pushing for college, and I just saw this as being another opportunity, another resource that could help me get that way. I also remember the day Michael came to Lamar Middle School, and he was there preaching Breakthrough, and then he was like, yeah, these are the applications, this is the way you have to do it. And I remember he mentioned we would see UT football players. And I was like, oh my God, we'll see UT athletes? Oh, that's the coolest thing. That was like the coolest thing at the time. And I was like, I want to get in this program. This sounds so exciting. It sounds so fun.
What makes Breakthrough really special for you?
It's special because I've spent so much time in this program, and it's seen me grow up, basically. So yeah, it's a very sacred thing to me. So I'm very anxious to find ways that I can pay forward all the things that Breakthrough has provided me over the years.
That's awesome.
Sessions and things like that, just having conversations with different mentors and directors, and even like staying in contact with my Breakthrough teachers, and really just, I guess, becoming like who I am was like through Breakthrough. And so it very much is, embedded in like my sense of self. So that's what makes it special for me.
What I think makes Breakthrough so special is, I think it's just such a unique program that honestly I have family across like the nation, and I still have not heard them say, yeah, there's a program like Breakthrough where I lived, or hey, yeah, there's a program here that helps me through this process. It's coming from a family where it's very unfamiliar, the process of college applications. And I mean, even job internships, like internship applications, it's something that's very unfamiliar. So I think what makes this program very special to me, very special and very unique, honestly, is the fact that they're able to help and really put out all the resources and all their time into their students. And honestly, like, I think it's funny because I remember in middle school and even in high school, like I had my mentor, my Breakthrough mentor, and I'd be like, I'm struggling in a certain subject in class, and next thing you know, it's funny because next thing you know, like the next week I'd come back the same day and they'd have a tutor ready for me. So I'm not really sure how they did it, but they always put their time and their effort into seeing you succeed. So I think that's what makes Breakthrough really special to me.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it was really special because you all have felt really safe to like even disclose and share like, hey, I'm struggling and I need some help.
Yeah.
I think that takes a lot of vulnerability.
Yeah, they provide a very supportive environment where they apply lots of time and lots of effort into actually making sure you reach your goals.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thanks. How has Breakthrough supported your goals throughout the years? That's like a perfect segue.
Well, Breakthrough is there with you every step of the way, like whatever point in your life that you're in. I remember when I was about to take my SATs, they had SAT prep workshops here, and then they even gave us test waivers so that you didn't have to pay for the test, and then also applying for college, filling out all the essays. So Breakthrough helps you with almost everything in your life that you need help with. And I consider myself pretty lucky to have had Breakthrough as this sort of, support to fall back on in most of these situations. I don't know where I'd be now if I didn't have Breakthrough, to be quite honest.
Transitioning like from like that junior and senior year of high school and really getting to college, Breakthrough was very vital to that process, especially and then being in college. Like having those mentors and even just people from Breakthrough checking in with you and saying like, hey, how are you doing? And not necessarily applying pressure like, hey, how are your grades? Let me see this. But really just checking on like your mental health, because they genuinely understand how challenging and how much of a culture shock being on a college campus can be. And so really just providing that support and letting you know that they're there for you, and really like being invested, like Mateo said, like being genuinely invested in their students, to wanting to see their success. It really, that's how they supported me, just really being invested in my success, even when I myself didn't feel motivated to be. So
the way I see it is Breakthrough knew my goals, and they already had thought of my goals before I even knew my goals. So they already know what to do for their students, and that's what I really like about them is they're not afraid to do that with everybody, and they put in the same amount of effort into all their students. And you know, they've made me reach many goals and internships. They've helped me out with a program called Future Focus, which really helps you out with the internship process. They provide an introduction to exactly lining you up. Well, they provide you with an introduction, lining you up with companies, and then you take it from there, where you would go to interview and essentially sell yourself to the company. But you know, that little hand to get to that point is very, very helpful. So I mean, they've been there through everything. So if we really sat down here and talked about every single thing, Breakthroughs, it made me helps me to achieve my goals. We'll be here for a while, but definitely college and internship is definitely the main ones.
Very cool. So it sounds like Breakthrough really does stick through college graduation, as y'all are saying, and it hasn't disappeared.
Right.
Louise and Brianna, you said supporting you even mentally and checking in with just hey, how are you doing? Once you were in college. How has the pandemic impacted your college experience?
I can't say it was a positive impact. It definitely had a negative toll on my grades at the beginning, but I'm very proud of myself for, I guess, figuring out a way to navigate the Zoom world and adjusting to this new online classroom environment. I definitely don't prefer it over in person, and it still takes away from in-person classes just because it doesn't feel like an organic environment. You can't really have that sort of one-on-one conversation with your professor, ask them questions like you can in person, but you got to make do with what you have. Yeah.
What was the most difficult part of transitioning to Zoom?
The most difficult part for me was not leaving my apartment for an entire week, basically, and having my roommates there sort of a distraction. One day blends into the other. There's no real difference. Every day feels like the same. And then it's also just really hard to stand in front of a computer for 5 hours at a time, almost nonstop. I mean, you have breaks in between classes, but they're pretty short some of the time. And many times professors, they ask that you leave your camera on. So it's just not ideal.
Yeah, I mean, Louise summed it up perfectly. It's just being on Zoom for all of my classes, and then the way that my schedule's set up, I'm in class from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. 2 days a week, and having to have my camera on, really trying to force myself to be present because, yes, this is my last semester, but also really wanting to get the most out of my education, and these are the classes that I want to take this information and use, going forward for my career and just, life in general. Really trying to make sure that I'm being engaged, being focused in class. It's draining. And so, that on top of working and days blending into each other, I remember at the beginning of the pandemic, I was an RA. And when everything happened, the dorm shut down, and everything just stopped. And so it was like you're kind of in a limbo kind of, because nobody knew what was happening. Professors are constantly emailing, okay, well, when we get back, and then we never came back. And so having to really kind of make that a very swift transition to being online for the rest of the spring semester last year, and then now being completely online this year, it was really isolating. And then it didn't feel organic. I think that's the perfect way to say it. It doesn't feel like an organic experience. I feel like I'm kind of, and this is, no fault of the institutions, but I feel like I'm kind of getting this, diet version of college, and then kind of just getting a degree. And I don't really know if I'm getting the most out of my degree this semester or this past year. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, no, like Brianna says, it was draining. That COVID transition was definitely impactful, The way it impacted me the most, I mean, honestly, I'd say I have some positive and negative impacts, but we went from going and having in-person classes, being with the professor, being able to ask those questions in person, office hours, you know. That experience is very different to doing everything online, especially whenever office hours. I mean, I remember having plenty of questions, plenty of homework questions for my professor, and going into office hours, and he used to have his whiteboard right there. We used to do our equations, work out problems and stuff like that. It used to be very easy to get my point across, you know, my confusion. But now it's very difficult. I mean, you don't have that visualization that you used to have, where in-person classes do provide, and you know, that comfort, that like level of comfort where you and the professor built that like student to professor relationship. It's one of those things that's very unique in the college experience. So that is one way that it was definitely negatively impacted. But you know, a positive way that I feel like COVID impacted me was definitely my I would say dedication. My perseverance, my time management, organization skills definitely became better. I mean, we're watching hours and hours of lecture. I feel like professors, through the transition of that in-person to online classes, they actually added assignments because of the fact that they're not there to able to actually get their topics through, their study topics through. So I feel like the load of work actually became a lot heavier. So, you know, you have to adapt to those things, and that adaptability really came out. And I mean, I'm just hoping it ends soon, but yeah, it was quite the experience.
Yeah.
What are you most excited about after graduating?
What I'm most excited about and nervous at the same time would be applying to jobs. Job application process, definitely nerve-wracking, but I'm excited to see what my future holds, I guess. Trying to decide what sort of job is going to catapult me in the direction I want to go for the next few years of my life, and just trying to determine what the best position is for me.
If you could imagine that like ideal best position, what would it be for you?
I'd say my ideal position would be a financial analyst job or role at a company like Goldman Sachs or just any investment banking company.
I am looking forward to taking a year off after graduation. School for me has been a lot, just in the responsibilities I took on, the positions I worked, and I'm very fortunate to have been able to take on and work in so many different positions and learn, you know, the things that I do like and don't like, whether that be, you know, with classes, with jobs, with living situations. And so I'm looking forward to kind of taking that information, sitting with it, you know, and just really taking a break before getting back into school, because I plan to go to grad school to go into education reform, and that's very heavy work. And so I really want to make sure that I am really taking time for like my mental health and really building up those really healthy habits, so that way I have something to pull from when I am, you know, in those spaces.
Yeah.
For me, I just think about how we spent 4 years studying, and I'm ready to apply all the things I've learned. You know, I'm that ideal position for me would be a sales engineer. You know, I've always been into sales, so I've always the way I see it is we've prepared so much for that moment, and you know, it's very uncertain as to what would happen in the future. But ideally, I just seek to, you know, keep pushing for those goals that I keep putting for myself, and you know, I'm scared, but at the same time, you know, having breakthrough on my back, it definitely makes it a little bit less scary. It makes the process less scary.
Sounds like having breakthrough is comforting, and I like what you said. I mean, you're right, you've been working towards this since middle school with breakthrough, and the moment's finally here.
Yeah, sure.
So that's awesome. All right, so y'all mentioned the early morning cheers that you would do during your middle school summers. Do you mind doing one for us today?
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
Alrighty.
Early in the morning,
Early in the morning,
when I was half asleep, I heard a little birdie. It went tweet tweet. And this little birdie had a funny name. It was aga faga fliga fliga ishkanaga nigga nigga aga faga fliga fliga birdie.
It was aga fliga fliga aga faga fliga fliga birdie.
I mean, the fact that you remember that bird's name.
I didn't remember the name, but I tried my best.
Yeah,
That was
the
great.
name was
Thank
hard.
you. Thank you so much for doing a cheer for us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you all so much for sharing your stories with us and for being here to celebrate your upcoming graduations. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so
you.
much. Thank you for having us.